Welcome to the channel, Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, on the road. You need to understand that people want to be loved, or whatever their version of love is, but when you get to my age, they've got so many things going on, you have to be able to be tolerant with things. Now, it's not that you want to live in each other's pocket and all this sort of thing. No, that's not it at all. It's not it at all. What you'll find is, because a lot of these people have had dysfunctional relationships before you come along, they've been abused, they've been with narcissists or borderline personalities, and they've become that themselves, because that's the sort of thing that it does to you. It just damages you. They bring this on over into their relationships, but they don't know, because they haven't done any, understanding of what actually went on. A lot of people have put it down to grog or dope or whatever their habits were. It's all degenerative meaning it all takes away from the health of the relationship. So there's always going to be this element, and it's not unhealthy in a lot of aspects, depending on where you're at in the relationship, where we'll need time alone. That's not an issue. That's not necessarily a problem. Okay? The problem is when somebody's trying to condition you to work around a problem that can be solved. In other words, they're given in to a problem that can be solved. And this isn't healthy for anyone. And it's very, very hard. Like, you can be tolerant towards it. It could be a selfishness. It could be a resentment. A lot of people, when they get resentful, go quiet. They just go quiet. They just go inside themselves. And if you can't understand that or deal with that, then they're not for you. See, some people never grow out of characteristical flaws because nobody's ever been able to help them to know. We live in a yes world, excuse me, where everything's yes to this, yes to that, when it's not at all. We praise people. Little children get praised even when they do wrong. And then they wonder why they grow up to be trouble, chasing praise for things that are wrong. And this happens all the time. We as parents can instill behavioural patterns into our children that are just destructive, thinking that they're right. So we need to be careful. Well, my children are raised now, and I wouldn't say they're perfect. I'm still doing some work, but that we have to be responsible to raise them in a way in which they're not going to harm themselves or anybody else. Now, a lot of these single mums have their children intruding into their personal lives. And this is really detrimental, because they interfere in their relationships and everything. I've had, as I've said in other videos, excuse me, I've had several of these women. What you've got to understand is that's their lot. It's not your problem, it's their lot. And what I've found is they don't know how to set boundaries up. They've let their children stand over them, and they can't undo that. They don't know how to undo that. They feel like they're violating the mental health of the child if they try and put things in order. I've got this dog. I've been taking this dog of my daughter's for a walk, and last night I said, if the dog makes any more mess in the house, it's outside. It's as simple as that. It doesn't come back inside. And I don't know, maybe I'm hard, but I haven't got an issue with that. My house is something that I care about, and I'm not going to have a dog wreck it. I'm just not going to have that. No. That's called a boundary. It's called a direction and instruction, and if it's not adhered to, that's it. The dog goes. I don't care. Because we have to have order. We just have to have order. And for some strange reason, these women just don't have order, and they don't understand what that does to people that are organised. They've got no concept of what that does to men that are trying to be in order and have order. They've got no concept at all. How aggravating it is, how frustrating it is, and what that does to people who are trying to have a sensible, normal, loving relationship, and the whole thing's just out of order. It's hard. You try and work in with them, and you've got hostility and people against you, and you're trying to work out why. Where's all this coming from? And there's no answer. There's just no answer. Well, we've got some sirens coming up behind us. Sorry viewers, we've got sirens coming up behind. I know they've turned them off, but you'll see a couple of ambulances go past. I'll just try and... Here they come. One. Oh no, they've got the sirens back on again. Something's happened. Here comes another one. There he goes. It's really hard. You're trying to have a relationship with these people, and they're trying to have one with you, and they need your understanding and stuff, and that ain't an issue to a point. But when it becomes a monotony, just a monotony, and the relationship's not reciprocal, and you feel like an outsider, and it can get so ugly, and I don't know whether they realise or not, or whether they care or not. I think they just get to the stage where they settle with their lot, and it's more important than what you are. It's just something that you've got to accept, and this is where you've got to be quick with your decisions so that people aren't wasting your time. You just don't want people wasting your time, and that's what happens. Are these people bad? No. My messages have never determined for these people to be bad. It's just their construct. And we need to be aware of the different constructs so that we can match with somebody that's going to match with us. Might never meet that person. I've had a couple of the ladies that I thought this is the one. You'll know if someone's genuine or not because it'll feel right, they're making the right effort, they're communicating. All this stuff drops away when they're not the right person. All this stuff falls away, and that's where your trauma starts. And we're all designed to want to make things work. We don't want things to fail. But if you're being demoralised and emasculated, no. You just got to go, oh well, that's the end of that. speaking from a man's point of view, when you get to 57 and that, you'll meet women that have never grown up. They've just never grown up. And they don't want to grow up. They want to be sarcastic. They want to be antagonistic. And they just end up resentful, bitter and twisted old women. When you're giving yourself to somebody, it's very hard not to want to spend, like, be in cohabitation with them. You know, see them 2 nights a week at their place, 2 nights a week at your place. It's not hard, but is it? The last woman, it was just never going to happen. It's amazing how they fade. They just fade. And that's just how it is. If you can tolerate that, fine. If not, you end up where I am, which is where? Doing all my hobbies, still staying healthy, but without a partner. Because I'd rather have the peace. I don't want to contend with people that are on their phone and you don't know what's going on, and you know, they don't communicate with you, and oh no, they got their children up their asses, adult children up their asses, and with all their snurdy little snotty opinions and crap, little jealousies, and no. I'm having a great life at the moment. It's great. I'm trying to educate people to understand that there's people that are at different developments in their personalities and characters that just may not match with yours. And then tag on some dysfunctional children that don't know better, adult children or teenage children, and you've got no hope. None. You're better off just enjoying yourself. A lot of these women are selfish. A lot of these women are just spread all over the place. They don't know how to manage themselves. They don't want to talk through things. They don't want to work out things. If something don't suit, then they just let it simmer until everybody's stuffed. Issues can be resolved if you're prepared to talk them through. And it may not be comfortable, but they can be resolved. And it's no point doing it by the time somebody's worn out. This is what's happening now. You know, people are starting to realise that people just aren't going to hang around if it's a problem, if it's too big a problem. People just will not hang around. That's all there is to it. And if people are afraid to sort stuff out, then as I said, they're probably not the person for you. If you get, you know, pleasure out of identifying things and working things out, then somebody that doesn't want to do that, that's more of an introvert and doesn't want to do that, they're not for you. And that's all there is to it. Because a lot of people want to sweep things under the carpet. That's all they want to do. And that's all they will do. Because that works out better for them and the people that are causing the trouble, or whatever the issue is. They don't have to face it. They become weaker. That's it. Everybody wears out around them and it goes round in circles until they can find someone they can bluff that has no boundaries, that doesn't want to have order in their life, that's happy just to let life be wasted in front of them. That's how a lot of people are. Are they wrong? No, it's a matter of you finding the person that matches with you. And that may never happen. Just may never happen. Are you willing to accept that? Are you willing to be able to be on your own with no drugs, no alcohol, no dependency on anything or anyone, just making a good income, having a good life? Are you able to do that, or are you a codependent? Some people are just codependents. They have to have someone. They don't care who it harms or what it does. They just have to have something. Don't let that be you. Come back to yourself, bring your vibration and energy back to yourself. And if somebody can appreciate that and work in with you without any interferences or rubbish with that, and they're reciprocal, then share that energy. If they're not, shut down, because you're wasting yourself, you're wasting time, and people will do that. If you're showing someone a way of life that's healthy and you're supporting them in that, and they're just abusing it, they're not being reciprocal, pull back before you get too deep, because the recovery process of a breakup, or people that are intimate with you when they go, they take a part of you with them, and you take a part of them with you. But some people really couldn't care less whether you do or you don't. We all have different values, we all have different ways in which we manage things and do things. Make sure that if you've got someone in your life, or you're dating someone, that their values and the way in which they live and they're going to care and contribute to the relationship are the same as yours. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time and their time as well. That's another point. Don't waste their time if you're not happy. It's not fair on them. You know, that's the way they are. That's the way they're going to be. Don't waste people's time just for convenience. It's not right either. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.